What is going on, Units Dynasty fans? It's your boy with Ball State here, and we are doing another video. Today, we're just going to be doing a quick overview of the league. You know, simple, sweet, short, easy. But I do want to bring up some issues I have with some comments that have been made recently. Some people have been saying the league is dead. Some people have been complaining, the league is dead. Once MLB comes out, I'm totally done with this thing. Shut up! Shut up! The league isn't dead. Sorry I haven't made a video every single week. Grow up! Stop bitching! Now that we got that out of the way, we're going to be going into the top 25 so far of this league here and this week. And starting out with number 3, we have Liberty. We love Liberty. Liberty loves us, and Liberty loves the league. And Liberty's a damn good team. Probably the best team in the league. Undisputed unit by far. Number 4. Ranked number 4 is UNLV. No surprise there, UNLV is a great team. I think what's surprising to some people is number 5 is Toledo. I think it is surprising to some people that they're not ranked, at a better position. Toledo's, a long-time unit, a long-time gritty member of the league. And it seems like, they've got some competition. And we love to see it. Going down to number 8 is yours truly, Ball State. That team that always, consistently is good, but can never get it done in the end. That's me. And then we have a newcomer to the top 25 and probably a playoff run this year, JMU, who is ranked number 9. Undefeated this season so far, 11-0 record. Love to see that from JMU. Would definitely love to see some videos from JMU too. I've heard through the grapevine that JMU does maybe after game press conferences potentially. I don't know how accurate that is, but that would be cool to see. JMU. So if you ever want to make your own videos and upload them to the YouTube, I can give you the login creds and you can go ahead and do that. We welcome all uploads here. Anyone who wants to make a video can upload it to the YouTube channel. Now, I'm not going to give out the YouTube password and email and everything to everybody, because then we're going to have people trolling. I trust JMU with those creds, though, so JMU, hit me up, if you want to upload any videos, feel free to do so. Going back, we got the whiny little bitch at number 11, Texas State. I'm going to play MLB. Shut up! Shut up! And going on to number 18, we have Kentucky. 7-4 record, but ranked number 18. I mean, I guess that's the perk of being in the SEC. Good for you, Kentucky. 7-4 is not a great record, but it's better than a lot of people, and in the SEC that's tough. So yeah, we'll take that. We'll take that from you. And that's it. For the top 25 user teams. I do want to point out how far Temple has fallen this season. God damn, talk about a lack of grit. Talk about a lack of desire and will to win. Little pussy. Ugh. Okay. Moving on, we have the college football playoff bracket here. We'll look at the bracket from the top to the bottom. It looks like Toledo, who's ranked 5, may be going up against Boise State in the first round. Then we got JMU and Ball State. That could be a fun little user game there. I'm honestly kind of scared of that. JMU's a good team. I think I may get murked there, low key. And then going on down below, we got Texas State potentially playing Michigan, and then we got Michigan State USC AI game. It looks like UNLV is going to get a first round bye and would play the winner of the Toledo-Boise State game. Notre Dame is going to get a first round bye, and either Ball State or JMU will play Notre Dame. Liberty will play the winner of the Texas State-Michigan game, and then Alabama will play, another AI, USC or Michigan State. So, pretty cool stuff there. Yeah, I think, obviously, this is subject to change. Obviously, this is not set in stone. In fact, I suspect it will change, for sure. But who knows? If this is what the playoff bracket looks like, cool. I would like to see some more user teams, probably. I think when we come up with the conference changes, I should say. I think we want to consider maybe having more conferences instead of 3 with a lot of users. I think more conferences offers an opportunity for more players to play in the playoffs. So my ideal conference alignment would be 3 users to a conference. That way we have a bunch of conferences that users are competing for. We got guaranteed conference championship user games. We got guaranteed. I really think if we did conference changes correctly, we could have nearly an entire bracket of the college football playoff filled with user teams. I think that is very achievable. But, there's no way to know unless we actually, implement those conferences. So, I may be doing a little campaigning early for my proposed conference changes. I can, show y'all to those at a later time. I actually, created a conference, an idea of a conference alignment, early on in this season. I think before the season started, actually, because I was eager to, make my case and, get people on board with that. But, I'm rambling now, so we'll go ahead and hop on to the conference overviews here. So we're starting out with the ACC. We got UNLV leading that conference with a 10-1 overall record, 8-0 in the conference. Below them is Texas State, who's ranked 11, with a 10-1 record, 7-0 in the conference. And then Toledo, who is 9-1 overall, 6-1 in the conference. Further down, you got Wyoming, and then much, much further down, you got USF. We see with those top 3 teams there in the conference, it's competitive, and then further down, not as much, but, yeah. And not really much to be said there. Moving on, we got the Big 12, and interestingly enough, we have an AI team who is leading the conference in second place. We've got Liberty leading in first place with a 12-0 overall record and 8-0 in the conference. TCU with a 9-2 overall record, 8-0 in the conference. Me in third with a 10-1 overall record and 6-1 in the conference. I mean, it looks like at this point, TCU has just had more conference games. I've played 7, they've played 8. Hopefully, that evens out and I have a chance, to compete in the conference championship. I think that would be cool. And then below me is Temple with an 8-3 overall record, 5-2 conference. And then further down, we got Coastal and UTSA. Fuck you, Coastal. You suck dick. You always bitching and complaining, but you never accomplish shit. Moving on, we got the Pac-12. JMU sweeping this conference, but East Carolina not far behind. JMU has an 11-0 overall record, a 7-0 conference record. East Carolina looking good with the 8-3 overall and 6-1 conference. And then we've just got a sludge and trudge for the mid-off between Hawaii, Colorado State, and Navy. What's new there? Nothing really changing there, but hey, it is what it is. Y'all bounce back next year, or at least in Colorado and Navy's case, how about y'all just bounce? Don't bounce back. You've never been bounced before. You've never been good. So get there. Get good. Moving on, we got the SEC. It's just Kentucky hanging out there. They're second in the conference, so we'll see if they can hold on to that. Maybe beat Alabama in the SEC Conference Championship. That'd be a cool little stream to watch. I think that'd be interesting. And now moving on to the Heisman race. It looks like there's a clear favorite here with tight end from Liberty, sophomore tight end Kyrie Tubbs. I know Hawaii star running back Kevin Lee's not far behind, but I think Tubbs is going to run away with this race. I think it's, he's blowing everyone else out of the water. If we take a look at his stats here, I mean, this man is a unit. He's only an 80 overall and a sophomore, but he is 6'5", 215 pounds, and he hasn't played a snap of football in college before this year, really. Or at least he may have played snaps. He never got the ball. He never got involved in any plays other than blocking, maybe. You look at 2027, he was there for 14 games, no yards, no receptions, nothing. 2028 only played one game. I don't know if he was on injury reserve or if he was, just riding the bench. I have no idea. But this year, man comes out in 12 games. He has 117 receptions, 2,262 yards, 19.3 yards per play on average, 188 yards per game on average, 32 touchdowns, and that goes along with, 911 yards after the catch, and then an average of 8 yards after the catch per catch. This guy's a beast, but he is an 80 overall, so, that makes me a little suspicious of some cheese. It may not be cheese. Maybe Liberty just likes throwing to him. Maybe Liberty just wants to get him the Heisman, so he just force feeds him the ball. That's very possible. But, yeah, that pretty much covers it, guys. Like I said, not too long of a video. We're hitting about close to the 12-minute mark here, so I'll go ahead and cut it off there. Thank y'all guys for watching. If I offended anybody by shitting on you, good. I'm glad. You deserve it, and I hope you're sad about it. And I'll see y'all later, fellas. Have a good one. Hey guys, I know I kind of closed it out there, but I did want to revisit this real quick because I think, may as well show y'all what my conference proposals are. I know it's a bit early, but I'm just kind of, eager and excited to get y'all's thoughts and opinions on these conferences. I personally think these are great. I know earlier I said I would show them to y'all at a later time, but screw it. I'm here. I'm making the video. I just want to do it now. I truly think these conferences would be a great way to maximize our amount of users in the playoffs as possible, and I think they make for some very interesting, entertaining, and competitive conferences. Starting out with the Big Ten, we'd have Toledo, UNLV, and Liberty. That's sort of the power, top of the line, top tier conference. These are obviously the top 3 teams that are competing for a national championship. I think that'd make for an interesting lineup there. Going on down to the ACC, that would be Temple, Ball State, and Texas State. Some may question why Temple's there. Keep in mind, I did make this towards the beginning or maybe even before the season. And so, Temple's kind of fallen off a little bit this season. I'd still probably keep them there. I think Temple's still a good team. Big 12, this is where things start to get a little interesting. This would be our only 4-person conference. We'd have Wyoming, JMU, UK, and Hawaii. I think that would be a very interesting and very competitive conference, seeing all these good teams duke it out. Moving on down to the Pac-12, we'd have ECU, UTSA, and Coastal Carolina. Teams that are really just looking to make the next big jump. And then we have Conference USA, USF, Colorado State, Navy, the Dreg Conference. USF would probably vote against this just to spite me because they don't like being put at the Dreg Conference. But hey, man, that's kind of where you belong. I'm not going to lie. I really do think that these conferences here maximize the amount of user teams in the playoff brackets. I think that is a guaranteed. What do we have here? 5 conferences. That's a guaranteed 5 user conference games, most likely. 5 user conference games. At least 4 of these conferences, there's probably a playoff team from each, if not more. That's like 2 playoff teams at least from the Big Ten, 2 playoff teams from the ACC, 2 playoff teams from the Big 12, maybe 1 from the Pac-12. Hell, if USF can ball out, maybe they go with Conference USA, representing that division and conference. I think this is truly the best way to maximize our amount of playoff teams and how much fun we can have and how much entertainment we can have within the playoffs. And yeah, just give it a thought. Thanks, guys.